Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Today, we got a special altcoin edition covering a couple of coins like Cardano, Nano, Holo, Pundi X, and Digibyte. First article here is from Cardano. Cardano's stablecoin will surpass Ethereum's DAI, says the founder, as ADA surges by 12%. So, very funny, but a couple of weeks ago, we actually talked about the possibilities of Cardano surging past the other coins in the crypto space after it has finally found kind of its root of support and finally its root in terms of advancements, so to speak. And now they kind of did. The only con is that Ethereum, out of all of those coins, also took to its own really little surge and also went up by about 13%. IOHK CEO Charles took to Twitter to say he's thinking about launching a stablecoin on Cardano, which he claims with confidence will surpass DAI in terms of its level of trustlessness. He said on Twitter, "If we do this, then it will blow everyone out of the water. I started in this space with stablecoins, and we've been thinking about them for about 7 years." That is actually a reply to Wise Ratings, who said, "We hear that Charles wants to build a version of DAI on Cardano. So far, DAI is the only trustless stablecoin in the crypto world, but there should be more. Stablecoins like DAI have no central point of failure, which is a big advantage over other coins like USDT or USDC. So, is a Cardano stablecoin on the cards? Well, Wise Crypto Ratings recently sent tongues wagging with a tweet that let slip Hoskinson's plan to launch a stablecoin. In addition, Wise drew reference to DAI, as we just saw right there, but I personally don't know exactly if there is going to be coming anything like this. It raised a lot of questions, and also what's in it for us, right? And consequently, Hoskinson answered by saying a Cardano stablecoin would add more liquidity, at the same time providing further assurance through easier on and off ramping. For those reasons, he sees the purpose of a Cardano stablecoin as generating more demand for ADA. If the coin uses ADA as a part of its central bank mechanism, it creates demand for the underlying asset, which is definitely true. I definitely support his view right there. Most of the time up till now, I've really been agreeing with what Charles says on Twitter. He does it in a very smart way to never really, make it look like he's benefiting himself. He always makes it look like everybody's benefiting from his decisions and everything that's coming up. So yeah, you can read up a little bit more about DAI if you want. But yeah, I think we know enough. If you don't, you should be reading into it a little bit. It's pretty cool. So, same here. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson is considering a stablecoin, and some people were really amazed with this. Really quite amazed. Twan here, however, and gratefully so, I don't know, rightfully so, that's what I want to say. Twan here on Twitter, rightfully so, said, "Dude hasn't even launched his platform yet and is already talking about blowing everyone out of the water with a stablecoin." I think that's also where Charles bit himself in the finger a little bit, or kind of cut his own fingertips off. I don't know how you would normally say that, but he's already talking about more and more things from the future and how he'll do better than the rest, sort of, without even having his own platform ready and out there. I definitely get that, and I do really think Twan is on the right track there by saying, "Hey man, take a step back, finish your own stuff first before you start looking at some other stuff." However, how he just said it, Charles, as he said right here, he does think that this stablecoin will draw more requests for ADA or more demand for ADA, which in turn means that this whole ordeal could also be to boost ADA in the longer run, which would be a positive thing then in turn again. So I do get both views. One, you would say, Charles, fix your own stuff first before you move over to something new. The other side is, he didn't actually start anything new. He's just talking about the possibility. And the other side would be like, hey, if it draws more attention to ADA, draws more demand for it, why not, right? And then another one, Cardano founder speaks of possible stablecoin launch. Will it really happen? And that's where they kind of baited us, because nobody knows if it will really happen anytime soon, or if they really even will go through it. He actually just confirms that if they were to start, and they've been thinking about it for a very long time, about 7 or so years, that they will definitely blow everybody's mind, and it will be a very good thing, So Cardano may serve as a basis for a stablecoin. Charles says if it happens, he'll blow everyone's mind, and yeah, it's pretty cool to see. Move her over into another coin, which is called Nano. This is a coin I have not covered in my videos for such a long while. But hey, here we are. Nano lawsuit update. Angry investor reacts to motion to dismiss. Nano dismisses claims in 10-point list. Project hit hard by the altcoin bear market, and James Fabian, the chief plaintiff in the securities class action lawsuit against the Nano crypto company, has asked a judge to strike against each point of dismissal that Nano supplied last fall. So, you might have not been up to all of this, but there was a lot going on, which is also the main reason I have not covered Nano in quite a lot of videos. Most of all the talks have just been about this lawsuit, and really not too many other projects or progress pieces have been coming out about Nano in a long time. Fabian, who faced losses after the hack and closing of BitGrill, believes Nano did not have sufficient excuses to claim lack of responsibility for the loss of the coins. The Nano company on its side filed a list of 10 dismissals, which Fabian believes are insufficient. According to Law 360, Fabian stated, "Such boilerplate purported defenses are not proper affirmative defenses, are not pleaded with sufficient particularity to give plaintiff notices or notice of their basis, and are not supported by any facts or explanations as to how they apply to this case." The Nano team was also reportedly aware of the possibility for double spending, which could have caused withdrawals from an exchange, thus depleting its wallets. Fabian added the team did not warn its early supporters of these risks. Whole freaking article, whole freaking lawsuit you could check into, because there's a lot. All right, and it's not a small thing, but I do think it deserves a little bit more attention, as this is investors versus a company, right? Because this is a person who has just lost their money to quite a big hack, and he's like, all right, help me out, Nano, or you should have warned us better. And Nano's like, yeah, no. Right? And here's another article which I just thought was quite on the spot. It's an article of today. It says, "Here's what crypto-related lawsuits can teach us." And one thing I should add there than always is that a lot of these lawsuits are because of misinformation, or because the I don't know how you say the side of the hurt person, the person filing the lawsuit, not the company, the crypto company, but most likely the person, just his own ignorance, right? Most of the time is just because of either misinformation from the company or the own person's ignorance. There's just a lack of information on the side of the person filing the lawsuit. It's never completely the crypto company's fault, as far as I've seen, unless there's a hack going on, because you can kind of say that's the exchange's fault, but on the other side, anybody can get hacked, really. And if you put your money on an exchange, you're kind of taking that risk right there. That's why I always tell you guys to buy yourself a hardware wallet. A link for a good hardware wallet is in the description below. It's a Ledger link. Make sure you check it out. I personally use that every single day of the week. It works like a freaking charm. So make sure you go ahead and buy yourself one. As I said before, link in the description below. I use the Ledger Nano S. And I think of upgrading to the X, but I also have the blue. You should just check out the link. It's pretty cool. Also, guys, if you've been enjoying up to now, make sure you press the like button and subscribe for more daily crypto content. But yeah, this whole lawsuit is pretty interesting, and I don't know exactly what is going to be ending from it. I thought I had another update article on Nano here, but I think this is actually the update from January 15th. I thought I had another one, a new update, but this is most likely the newest update. But yeah, what is going to happen to this guy? Who's going to win this whole new lawsuit? I don't know. I want to quickly get into the response a little bit. Wait, let's see where we were at right here. Yes, he just replied and said this. All right, the BitGrill exchange was also one of the few markets to list Nano on its early days, becoming an adapter required buying coins on the exchange, exposing traders to risks. Eventually, the BitGrill exchanges and its founder, Francesco Ferrano, were found guilty of not disclosing the double spending. But the Nano team also faces a class action lawsuit as being partial to the loss of coins. In the end, it turned out the funds were taken away using a glitch that served multiple withdrawals, as evidenced by the activity and requests from Nano nodes. The judgment on the exchange was passed about a year ago. So you guys get the story a little bit better right now. This is not Matthias's own fault, or whoever the lawsuit is, whoever it's from. I think it's Matthias. Oh, no, it's maybe another guy. I guess a Fabian, whatever. James Fabian, yeah. Who cares? It's not his own fault right there, and I definitely think they should agree with him on some point, depending on how much money it is as well. You know, if it's $100 million, I think it's becoming a little bit more of a difficult situation because now it's about the integrity of your company, but also it would kind of mean bankruptcy for all of Nano, right? Because if they have to pay $100 million back, it's going to be very difficult. On the contrary, you know, if it's $1,000, you're also allowing yourself to, you know, for a lot more lawsuits in the future because you are the one who decided to pay somebody for your mistake, really admitting you made a mistake right there. And that would really not be good for the crypto space either. So I definitely don't know how this is going to be ending. That the exchange made a mistake, I could definitely fall for. I definitely think that's the case. But by the way, the Bitcoin exchange claimed it was hacked in February 2018, losing an estimated $170 to $195 million. This was worth around 17,000 Nano at the time. The token had just peaked about a month before at $34. One of the big success stories in late 2017 when altcoins pumped. Now it's about 70 cents. So it's definitely fallen quite a bit, and I think a lot has changed, but I've not updated myself with Nano too much here in the past like 1.5 years or so because all of the issues that went on since the beginning of 2018. So if something big happened, I would not even know about it, and I don't think you guys care too much because if you're holding this one, you messed up a little bit because they're really low. But I thought I should quickly enter it into my video as lawsuits in crypto are definitely quite a big thing, and also think that you should always read up on lawsuits if you get the chance to. All right, and this is an article you all should have a little bit of a look at. Not going to get too into detail on it, but there is so much that you should know about these lawsuits. Here you can see on February 8th, 15 million Nano coins stored on Bitcoin exchange worth $117 million were lost. And yeah, now that is what the lawsuit is about. I don't know how much money this person exactly had, but still, it's a big case because they might have to pay a lot of money back. Holochain denies ICO funds were used for Bondage Studio. When I read this, I was really quite confused. I was like, what the actual F have I just read? You know, because this title is quite a little bit different from what I'm used to reading. The executive director of the top 50 cryptocurrency Holochain was revealed as a fan of rope binding, but the project says no, that the funds were misused. So, personally don't know how much a bondage studio would cost, but how do they know he's a fan of that? Because I know it was revealed, but just up front here by reading only the title, right? How would you know he's a fan of that is what I'm wondering if you read the title alone. Why do people care he bought it? And how would they know that they used project money instead of his own millions of dollars, right? Because he's an executive director, so he probably got a couple $1,000,000 from the project in total now. So where does this stand? Well, if you scroll through a little bit, you can check out that this is not even a small subject. You know, it's actually a whole article. It's a whole freaking written out thing. The Holochain community has been attacked by trolls on 4chan over the issue. A representative of the company has had to clarify that no funds raised in the ICO, a $20 million ICO, were used to build a bondage studio in Denver, run by Holochain executive director Manny Camacho. Sleuths on notorious internet forums 4chan discovered that Camacho was the owner of Studio Friction, described as Denver's home for rope and aerial art, on Sunday. Subsequently, Holochain's social media profiles were inundated with comments including a claim that funds from the ICO could have been used to build the bondage studio. However, one of the representatives has denied that any money was mixed between the two projects. According to messages seen on Decrypt or by Decrypt, we have reached out to Holochain for a response and will update the story if we hear back. And upon closer inspection, there appears to be some confusion over the timelines of the two incidents in question. The studio's crowdfunding raise on Indiegogo, which picked up $10,000 in donations, ended in September 2017, before the studio opened in November the same year. Yet, the Holochain project was created in January 2018, with its ICO ending 3 months later in April, so the studio was built before any ICO money was raised. So yeah, actually not that much money, and even if, I guess, if you used some of it, it's $10,000, right, for the whole studio. It's a lot of money to an individual, but if they got 20 million in that ICO, would you even notice if $10,000 were gone? Probably don't think so. So from that perspective, you know, who cares about it? You don't know what they did with all the ICO money. So you can complain like, oh, they couldn't have done something better than build the studio. You don't even know what they did with the money, right? They can tell you something, but you don't even know what they did. So I don't think we should make that big of a deal out of $10,000 if he did. To me, it's more interesting exactly what they're doing next to this, and they also now spend another $10,000 on a new creator project or something like that. Because as I just said, you won't know exactly what they spend all their money on. Even if they did use $50,000 out of their ICO to build the studio, he might have put his own money into Holo afterwards. Who knows? I still think it's fine. Not supporting the whole studio idea of building it. I don't know what it was for. Maybe it's for profit. Maybe it's for pleasure. I don't know. I have no idea how such a studio would work. All right. Inside Pundi X's troubled plan to make Bitcoin mainstream. I actually have just heard so much about Pundi today. Like here, this article is coming from it today. The innovative fintech company launched 2 years ago with a $34 million ICO and an ambitious plan to equip thousands of retailers with crypto POS terminals for Main Street users, and so far it hasn't turned out that way. By the way, where do those $34 million get stored? Like, how does that work anymore? I have gotten so far out of ICOs that I don't exactly understand anymore how it works all the way. You guys need to explain to me in the comment section, or just give me an hour and I'll just look up everything on ICOs again, because I think I'm just messing up my own head here. Because ICOs is they first emit the coins, right? They have all the coins and they decide to sell them, or I need to go look it up because I've really not looked up anything on, emitting coins through ICO for the last 2 years. That I think I need to educate myself a little bit more on that. If you guys want to see that in a video, make sure you let me know. I'll just look up a little bit extra and then go over and explain everything. Yeah, there's also, by the way, tons of ICOs which I entered, which I've never claimed the coins from. And a lot of them busted. For example, Envion, I think you had to verify your ID, and later on, I didn't want to, and later on then it got hacked, so it was pretty good that I didn't show my ID or send my ID, because now I would have lost my credentials to some hacker online. On the contrary, they lost a couple $100 because I never claimed those coins, but you could deposit first, and then afterwards the KYC came. I was like, oh, damn, but all right. And that's for a lot of different projects out there. Or I've just never bothered to send my coins somewhere. For example, Crypterium, I believe, I never decided to send my coins to my wallet. It's just stuck in limbo forever. I don't know if they still pay out. I have no idea. I don't know what they do with that money either. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, Thomas Newman liked the idea of customers at his graffiti gallery in Asker not already paying for his things in Bitcoin. So nearly a year ago, he purchased the Expos, a mobile point of sale device that would allow his clientele to easily use Bitcoin to buy cans of spray paint or murals. But now the thing is gathering dust. Norwegians are not really ready to embrace blockchain tech, said Newman, who runs an online storefront and showroom. Montana Can says, it works magnificently, it's a great machine and has amazing potential, but if the customers are not willing to actually use crypto to pay for stuff, what's the point? And it's not just Norwegians, hardly any customers or consumers anywhere in the world are ready to use crypto for payments if the experience of Pundi X, which manufactures the Expos, is anything to go by. So the whole dream is just everybody really easily using these points of sales and these cards and everything to just pay for everything. And as of today, 1,000 Expos have been activated, and they're growing really fast and really nicely. But there's still quite a big problem with Pundi X, I would say. It's just that there's a big need for all the people to really start adopting cryptocurrency and using it in everyday to day life. But since there's so many entry boundaries for getting into crypto, and right now the market also not doing too well in terms of, or in comparison to what it was doing a couple of years ago, that people are really not that eager to get into an altcoin instead of Bitcoin, or they're not really hearing about Pundi X so fast that people are not really that eager to spend their Bitcoin through Pundi's new systems or anything like that. It's just a little bit unfortunate, I would say. I think they have a lot of potential though, and I still think they're going to get really freaking far. It's just some more time that they're going to be needing. And here they're having a little bit of a say that there was some bad timing, and there's a little bit more in that where it did wrong things. But let's quickly get into it. Pundi's timing could not have been worse. Token prices imploded soon after its launch, posing a challenge for its new business. The $17 million private placement committed Pundi to manufacturing 20,000 bespoke NEM-exposed devices, but payment terminals wired to exclusively support NEM tokens, at least that's what I wanted, XEM. But though Pundi announced in a report that it had fielded orders for the units, the plan was scrapped when Pundi decided to stick with the standard exposed unit, which would support XEM regardless but are not exclusive, and the distribution and merchants only want one blockchain-based point-of-sale terminal, said Liu, which is pretty obvious to me as well. NEM Foundation declined to comment, saying the deal had been negotiated by her predecessor, and I don't really know exactly where the issue lies or where the bad part is. I don't know if they really also went and bought it. I don't know why the timing would be so bad. I just think they should stay with things that accept everything, not only one thing. Otherwise, it's pretty stupid. But yeah, I just think Pundi has a lot of potential and they're going to get pretty far, but they're not there quite yet. And Digibyte, I just saw this article popping up a couple of days ago as well. Digibyte unveil foundation framework. Jared Tate says, awesome news. Thank you everyone who's been working hard on this. And it's a retweet from Dear Digibyte community, we're happy to announce that we have finished the foundation framework and we're happy to share details with you. Soon we will have an AMA to address the questions that you might have. And we covered this already, but I just thought I should quickly update you guys that they've gotten a step further, which we did not get to cover, I think, yesterday or the day before. So that's why I quickly decided to mention it again. Guys, that was it for this crypto video or crypto update video. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you press the like button. If you did like these more general crypto talks where I talk about a lot of different altcoins, make sure you let me know in the comment section and make sure you let me know what coin you'd like to see next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care and have a very nice day.